And once you build that within your own business, you don't have to worry about what everybody else is doing because it'll come together naturally, you know? Right. So, I mean, I love my city, you know? I've been born and raised in Boston, so that's why I continue to work here and look for the talent here instead of moving to New York and saying,
forget Boston.
Yeah, because New York has its own issues.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
We love New York, but it's a big city. We're a small city. It makes no sense that we can't come together
and capitalize on our own city.
Right.
Make everyone know what Boston is really about, because there's immense talent here.
Exactly. Now, for you, Lisa, same thing. I mean, do you feel the same way Miss Toya does?
Oh, exactly.
Completely?
Completely. I totally agree with her. You know, it's really hard to not be successful, but, you know, to try to build new relationships, you know, with people who are trying to do the same thing.
That's so true. Now, you guys, your companies have been going strong. How long? I know we kind of jumped the gun because I had to get that question out. I'm sorry. It's just a burning question that I've had, and you kind of touched on it, so I had to hit it on the head while we had it on the table. But how long have your companies been established? Because you're doing your thing, you're doing your thing with Stylistas, you're doing your thing with Star Productions. How long have you guys been doing this? Because I've seen you for a while.
Right.
I've seen Miss Toya on the scene as well for a little while, so it's nice to finally get familiar with you. But how long have you guys been doing this?
I've been actually planning events for about 8 years. I started my company 3 years ago, so it's been 3 years since the company started.
All right. And what made you say, you know what, I'm tired of planning this, I need something a little more organized. I need people to know that it's Styles Productions doing this. It's not Lisa from wherever.
Right.
What was that driving force that made you do that?
Well, again, I was out a lot, you know, trying to...
Party girl.
Exactly. Okay. Let's get it out there. I was a party girl, so I knew a lot of people, and you know, I would volunteer and do a lot of events that were going on with the clubs that were happening back in the day. So I was volunteering, working at the door, you know what I mean? Things like that, to just get my name out there. So when I started the company, it was really hard because it was, oh, that's Lisa, like you said, you know, that's Lisa. And it's like, no, it's Style Productions. You know, this is the company that I started to do this. But, you know, again, I really just sat down and I wanted to figure out how can I make my own way? You know, how can I make a signature for myself? How can I make a mark in the city? And again, I wanted to know, how can I put the fashion with planning the events together? And then that's when I came up with the name company.
And same for you, Ms. Toy. Pretty much the same question. How did that whole thing fall in for you?
It's interesting, Lisa, because I kind of have the same background. It's like you're out in the city and you're helping people, you know, with their projects, and everyone knows who you are. They see you like, yo, yeah, I know Miss Toy. But then they can't really fit me into any slot, because it's like, okay, I see her perform at the Urban Music Awards with Deshaun King. I see her doing this. I see, what is she? Who is she? And then I'm like, okay, you know what? At the end of the day, I have to pull all the talents that I have together, you know, and give it some purpose. You know, give it a destination, so that when people see me, it's not, oh, that's Miss Toy. It's like, okay, she works, that's Stylista. Stylistas is in the building, and this is what Stylistas is all about.
I hear you. Now, with you guys going through those obstacles, obviously overcoming the whole party girl title, was it hard to be respected with your title name, as far as, no, I'm not Lisa, this is Styles Productions, no, I'm not Miss Toya, this is Stylistas? Was that hard for you guys to get that respect, even from your peers, from your friends, people who you wanted to contact you through business? Was that hard to get that stamp of approval?
I would say yes and no. You know, it was an easy transition only because I knew people and people knew me. But it was harder to break into it on the business side. You know, yes, I'm at the clubs, I'm at the doors, I'm helping out, but now, no, I want this club to do my own event, you know? So that was more of the challenging part, was to get in there and really prove myself, because when you're working with other people's money, it's just, that nobody's just gonna say, hey, yeah, come right in, you know, here's the money, here's the budget. It doesn't work like that. So that was the most challenging part, was that.
And same thing, how was that for you?
I can honestly say the transition really wasn't that hard, because all I did was get quiet and fall back, you know? I'm not on the scene. A lot of times what people didn't know is when they did see me, I was working, you know? Sometimes I did work at a club, You know, and it's like, no, yeah, I like to party too, but at the end of the day, I always had a reason for why I was there. You know, so now that I'm doing my own projects, it's just more so about me focusing and staying focused on the fact that this is about stylistas, you know? And I've actually had a lot of support. You know, when I tell people this is what I'm doing, they're like, good, really good. You know, so that encourages me as well.
Definitely. Now, you guys talked about yourselves professionally, as far as your professional background. Give us a little bit about you personally, what people don't know about you guys. One
thing that people don't know about me is that I sing.
I know.
That's cool.
No, that stays here and that's it.
Nope, everybody knows.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that was a true passion of mine a while ago, but yep. So that's something I'll give. That's it.
So you just sing what, in the shower now? Because you put on a lot of shows.
No, I've sung at talent shows a long time ago when I was younger. You know, I took singing classes and like growing up, and it was always something I wanted to be a singer. That was my, you know, you have your childhood dream, right? Exactly, and that was that.
That's so funny.
I have a little hidden hidden talent.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to enlighten us about yourself? It could be your schooling background or just anything you want to let the people know about you and what makes style production stand alone.
I grew up in Chinatown.
Okay.
Yep, for a very long time. I was in the MECO program.
I was as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I went to Natick Middle School, Kennedy, and I also went to Natick High School. So that was a, you know, interesting time. You're in the city, you're in the suburbs, so you already know what that's like. And then I went to Framingham State College and I studied clothing and textiles with a concentration in fashion merchandising. So that's a little bit about my education background.
But for you, Miss Toya, excuse me.
It is Miss Toya. Right?
Oh, it's Miss Toya. Okay. That was on point.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell us, you know, definitely let us know about you personally.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Boston. Probably when I was like maybe 10 years old, I moved into Milton. So I have kind of the same experience. I went to school in a suburban area, and then I moved back into Boston my junior year in high school and went to West Roxbury High.
Okay.
And that was like culture shock because I was used to things being so structured, whereas Boston public schools are just a little bit different.
Yes,
so,
completely.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah, and I went to Bay State and I took fashion merchandising as well. And I sing also. I was singing background for one of my clients who was Deshaun King. Singing background with him, we did the Urban Music Awards, and I was doing designing, I was singing, I was doing so many things, but now I'm a publicist. And this is what I love. I actually really love it a lot. It's very fun. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
But it's rewarding work, which is nice.
No traditional hours being a publicist.
I hear you. That's so funny. It's so weird that we all pretty much share somewhat of a similar background. Because I went to MECO as well. I went to Brookline Middle School and I went to Brookline High School and then I went to UMass Boston. I also studied fashion merchandising as well in Florida at IADT. So that's so crazy. And now here we are, all on one stage together, representing for the boss ladies.
It just shows that, you know, women, once you open up and really speak to people instead of just
all similar,
looking at their appearance, it's like you are all the same.
Exactly. We always share the same passion.
But perception is reality.
Oh, definitely.
And then people fall into that, which sometimes is sad, but I mean, it's the way the world works.
You overcome it. You overcome it.
You have to. When you're bigger than that, you're in the industry that we are in, you have to learn how to break down things to find out who's who.
Exactly.
Before you can even take on a client sometimes, you know?
Exactly.
But back to the main thing. What motivated you guys to become your own boss lady? Because you guys, I mean, I gotta let the people out there know what a boss lady is, okay? You orchestrate whatever needs to be orchestrated. You hire the people that need to be hired. You sign the checks, and you call the shots. That's a boss lady. If you don't do those things, you're not a boss lady. You may be a boss lady in training, but once you can accomplish all those things, then you're an official and we'll salute you on that, boss lady. Now, ladies, what made you guys decide to follow in the steps of a boss lady? Was it the lack there was around you, or just wanting to start something new and fresh and just be creative and do your own thing and you just kind of fell into that?